Well, I guess we continue doing that electrical nightmare we were doing yesterday, but I guess the benefit now is we have a fresh mind. Nice fresh mind. My label machine coming today, I think. So today we are continuing with the electrical cabling. It makes sense to finish the cable runs as soon as possible, so then you can complete all the remaining insulation. Okay, here we go. So 3 cables in. I might actually just mark them up so we know where we're at when my labeler arrives. Okay, this is going to be annoying. How am I going to do this? This is not an easy way of doing it, especially if it's not the right cable. Oh, no way. The first one I pick is the right one. No, is that right? I think it is as well. That's a G to the G's. Put that there. Okay, so I have brown tape and black tape, which should kind of do the job for now. So yeah, what I'm doing here, anyone who's wondering, I'm just marking up what cable's which. So we don't have the confusion later on, because I'm going to be running more cables. I have ordered a little table. Where did table come from? Table? A label printer. Where did table come from? The hell? Table. Imagine if this second one I pick is also the right one. It's now a 50-50 chance. Oh, this one isn't, I don't think. Oh, wait, it is. There's no way. Pick the right one again. Don't believe that. Today's my lucky day. There you go. So we got black tape, brown tape, one without tape. So now we know which one's which. So now I've got used to what people call the fishing wire. I can now continue to run all the remaining cables to the switch location. So the place I'm running all these cables to that you can see, this is going to be my main light switch area, and of course switches to isolate some of the main appliances like the fan, the water pump and the fridge. This is so when you're off-grid, if you do get low on electricity, you can completely disconnect them from the battery, which will also help preserve electricity. So let's hope I don't have to use the fridge switch when I have a fridge full of food. I guess one of the mistakes that you guys could learn from is when you're running cables, if you're doing it in a similar way I am, it's probably best to run all the cables and pull them all through all at once, rather than individually, as some of the cables can get coiled inside the conduit, and this makes it more difficult to pull more wires through. I'm going to be using just like a standard switch. I'm not using one of these DC ready-made panels. So what's happening is it's basically each circuit's going to its on and off switch. But what I was doing to save on cabling is I was putting multiple circuits on one cable, i.e. like the lighting. There's 3 spotlight circuits, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 2 lights, 4 lights, and probably 2 lights. So rather than just do 3 individual cables going to the switch, and then from the switch, obviously then running 3 separate cables to the different circuits, what I'm doing instead is I'm using 1 circuit to the switch, and then that is going to feed all 3 spotlight circuits. That's fine for the spotlights, but I've also got this cable, but with the increase in watt that I didn't realize when I did the research, it actually works out that this is just ever so slightly a bit too small if I'm putting them all on the same main wire across. So what that would mean is if we calculated that the fuse is going to be 12.5, so obviously I can't use this on any point of the circuit, because then this is 11 amps, this actually then becomes the weakest point of the circuit. So I can either use a 10 amp fuse, which I might need to then have less LEDs or something, I don't really know. So I'm just kind of figuring out this minor issue. There will be multiple solutions, I'm just trying to figure out what the best solution for my situation is. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm wondering whether it's worth putting some sort of mini fuse box. Maybe it's just a bad move to try and wire it this way. Might have to sit on that a little bit. Okay, so maybe I'll just tweak the design, but then by tweaking it meant I could have just ordered some of this cable that's cheaper, but oh well, doesn't matter. It's done now. I'm gonna put LED 1 and 3 on the same circuit. LED 2, the ceiling LED, can have its own cable, I think. 11 amp, then we can have a 7.5 amp fuse. Perfect. Okay, that works out perfect. So I can just use this cable. So I've got the fan, water pump, fridge, light, LED. That means I need to get 1 more cable in. So it's time to put in that 1 more cable. Those who have worked with conduit before will know that when the cable inside does get a little bit coiled, it does mean that even though it looks like there's plenty of space for cables to go in, they just don't want to go in. And that is pretty much where we're at this point. I'm also feeding the cable in for the USB on the indent shelf above the bed. So we have LED 1 and 3, LED 2, fridge, water pump, fan, and then the light 1, 2, 3. Which one was the light? It was the silver one, wasn't it? Yes, silver. Let's put silver. Lovely jubbly. What else do I need? I think that is all the DC circuit. Oh no, I need this one. I need to find out what the wattage is. I need to see the wattage of the... Oh, do you know what? It's going to be... Nah, this cable will be fine. I don't even need to check. Or should I play it safe? Looking for... I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're all I ever wanted. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Come on, why is this being so awkward? What's going on? So I made sure I didn't forget about the skylight LED, because as much as it's not around now, there is an LED cover that goes on top of the skylight. So I put the cable in ready for that. Then after that, it looks like we are pretty much done for the cabling. That's the main ones anyway. There will definitely be circuits that I go, oh yeah, and then forget. LED 1 and 3, LED 2, reading light, light circuit is in, fridge, water pump, fan. Yeah, we got all of that in. Right, let's use the 1mm cable. I'm gonna have to try and get 2 more cables in there. Yeah, 2 USBs are going up there. I'm gonna do an individual cable for them. Okay, it seems already that there's 2 more cables I need to somehow get in, but it doesn't quite go to plan. So it looks like I'm gonna have to use a new conduit to get these cables in. Some people might decide not to use the conduit, but I would definitely recommend using the conduit or something when it goes through the sharp metal, as the sharp metal can obviously pierce through the cable, especially with the vibrations of the van. So now let me show you exactly what I've done so far, and hopefully it will make more sense. So obviously I'll show you down here. You can see these are the cables that were installed. I have labelled them with different things. I've ordered a label printer, but that's not arriving yet. So instead I've just changed different. So we've got 1 in a knot, double brown tape, silver and brown tape. So it's all identified, so we know which cable's which. So they all going through there, goes up, around the back, up in there, along there, out in this tube here, all along here, and then you can see they come out here. Now what's going to happen is there's going to be the main switches here. There's going to be 3 LED circuits, 3 spotlight circuits, and then 3 mains switches. And if I take you around to the other area, and then if you come around here, you can see a couple come out the tube. So we've got 1 cable for the reading lights. There's going to be 2 reading lights above the bed. Got another cable here, which is going to be a USB. This is going to be a little shelf. So at night, this is how I'm going to charge my phone. It's just going to go up on this little shelf. It's going to be a USB socket in there, and that's for that. So I need to put a second wire in, because I think I might have another USB in the other little hole there. Possibly. Haven't fully decided yet. They go through that tube, and then as you saw earlier, out onto the main switch over there. And then we have this single one on its own, like me. It goes up there. And this is for the skylight. There's an LED attachment that comes with that skylight. So there we go, that's the work. So after today, I head over to meet my friends Steffi and Bailey, and we had a nice little walk in the woods, and this is near the little spot that we decided to stay as well. Have a little lay down. Good boy. So after the walk, we head back to Steffi's van, who actually has cooking facilities. So Steffi cooked us some dinner, had a little chat, and then went back to our vans to sleep. Thanks again for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.